Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're doing quite a bit of exploring. We're going to be on the bike a lot and I'm exploring a small stream. I fish it quite often. It's a stream that runs through the woods, but I only ever really fish that section, and I'd like to explore some new locations today and hopefully find some big fish. I'm really wanting to maybe get some topwater strikes potentially from the chub. I went out recently actually for the pike. It was going to be one of my opening sessions of the unofficial pike season, using topwater lures, and it went fantastic actually. I had a couple of nice fish, nice takes, exploding it on the surface, but I think it's just starting to get a bit too cold for it because the two takes that I had were the only two takes I had all session. So fingers crossed the chub can make up for it for me today. But without further ado, I'm already knackered walking. Let's get moving and find ourselves some water to cast into. I've got high hopes for this session today. So you guys have probably just watched a 1 minute montage or something of me traipsing around and making a few casts. But for me, it's been an hour and a half of torture. I've been stung up, I've been cut up by brambles, I've had to climb some barbed wire, bit sketchy. I've ended up soaking wet through, having to walk through part of the river, and I've got absolutely nothing to show for it. I've only even spotted one fish, and that one fish was an absolute beast. It was actually a ginormous brown trout, and I spooked it off after making a couple of casts, which is absolutely gutting. But this stream is only a few inches deep, pretty much all of it. You're just looking for these little pockets, these little deep holes. So I've been struggling. It's not down to what I've been doing, it's just down to not being able to find these fish. But now I'm back at a swim you will recognise, and that is the section of this stream that goes through the woods. I've biked here. I've actually just put my bike on charge because I've used up a lot of power so far this session blasting around on that thing trying to find swims, and I'm going to refuel myself McCoy's proper man's Chris, and fingers crossed in this woodland we'll be able to find a few fish and hopefully some big ones. Now, as I've already mentioned, I'm doing a lot of traveling this session, and that means a lot of time on the electric bike. Now, there isn't enough power in the battery to do exactly what I want to do today. So that's why I've brought with me this portable generator. It's brand new to me. It's the Jackery 500 V2. And not only can we charge up things like our phones, camera equipment, microphones, I can also charge up my bike as well. I can plug it into there and charge it up, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm exploring for about an hour, so I'll leave it on charge for about an hour. That should give me enough juice in the bike to carry on my session. Right, let's get it plugged in. Yep, fish on. That's a perch. Gotta be. I think there was some more out there actually. I'm just chucking me straight back down there into the shallows. See you later, buddy. Right, let's try and find something bigger. Now, some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed I'm actually using a new rod. And I got sent this out from a friend of the channel, and that is Fish with Carl.
Oh, car friend! Oh, car friend, should we play football?
I brought out the new rod range, and he sent me out a few to use. There was absolutely no obligation to advertise these or use them in the video, but we all support each other here on YouTube, don't we? So I'm using the 1 to 8 gram ultralight rod that he sent me out today, and it feels really nice so far, I will admit. I just need to catch some big fish on it, don't I? Let's try a smaller bait, a little soft plastic. Yep, there we go. That's a perch. It's not a bad perch actually, I'm going to flip him. Because I was desperate to catch it. I didn't have the time to get the net off my back, and that fish absolutely crushed it. Look at that. Just put on a little curly tail grub style bait and a little tiny jig head, and finally we've caught something. And it is actually a pretty nice quality fish for this waterway. Obviously it's only a small stream. It's not full of giant fish. Fish of this size are actually real good quality. And there was a couple more down there, so I'm not going to show him off to the big camera, I don't think. We'll just get him straight back. Now I've just had a perch on this curly tail grub, and just downstream from that swim, which is just up there, we've got this area, and this is the only place I can think where any fish might be holding up after I've just caught them upstream. I obviously spooked some other fish. I think they've come down here. I can actually see the tails, I believe, of a couple of chub just sticking out from the back of these snags here. So I'm just going to make a few casts up against this structure and we'll see if there's anything in this spot. Yep, fish on, fish on. That's a good fish. That's a big perch. That's a really big perch for this stream. That's an absolute monster. Oh, my net's tangled up. That's huge. Yes. Yes. There's a jig head there right at the front of his mouth. He was only just hooked. There we go, threaded my rod around. Yes, what a fish. Now would you look at that for a small stream perch? That is probably a perch of about 39 centimetres I would say, and definitely a fish over 1.5 pounds. It is not exactly what we came out for today actually. I was hoping for big chub, maybe a few small perch, which is what's been going on so far. But a perch of this size, they really are special when they're from a waterway like this. It is so dainty. This is one of the deepest areas in the stream, which is probably about 2 foot deep, which is crazy, isn't it? That is an absolute stunner. Right, let's get this one back, and I'm going to carry on in our search for some big chub. That is wicked. Yep, another perch, another perch. And it may not be a monster, but it's a respectable perch all the same. Absolutely stunning. See you later, buddy. Right, so I caught perch from a swim just up there. They spooked downstream, and I've just had a couple of perch now from the tree down here, including an absolute whopper for this little stream. And now I've got a feeling they might have swam, if there's any more left, they might have swum back up to the snags upstream. You'll find in areas like this, when you've got big chunks of cover in a deeper area, the fish like to stay in the deeper area, but they'll just move between the structure when they get spooked. So I'll give it maybe like 15 minutes. Have a little bit of something to eat, maybe a chocolate bar, and then we'll have a few casts in that swim upstream again before we get looking for some of those chub. Either way, my session went from being boring and pain-inducing to really fun, really quick. Fish on. Oh, it's fish on. It's a stick. Yep, that's a fish. That's not a stick. That's not a stick. It's a decent perch. Another decent perch. What a stunning fish that is. Another big perch on the little grub. And that is another fish, probably about 38 centimetre. A little bit smaller than the big one we've just had, just further downstream. Absolutely awesome. Would you look at that, we're on a roll now. Massively overestimated this fish. I think I've just said it was probably about 38, but now I'm actually looking at it close up, it's probably about a 36, something like that. But still a beautiful perch, and still a very good size fish for this very, very small body of water. I've just caught a big perch further downstream, thought maybe the shoal's moved upstream again. Came back up to the spot where I was catching him a bit ago, and hey presto, right, let's get him back. That is wicked, but we need to find some chub. I'm having a great session so far though. This woodland is infested with spiders. I love them, but God, they keep falling on me. There's a giant web just here, and there. Right, now it's time to move on. I've been exploring for about an hour or so, but it's time to move. And I think I should have plenty of power in the bike now. The good thing about this jackery is it's small enough so that when I'm done with it on my travels, it is actually small enough to go in one of these side pockets on the back of my bike. So it's got enough power to power my bike, my camera equipment, and small enough for me to transport nice and easily. And it just slips into that back pocket like that. Cover it up with a waterproof cover like so, and I'm ready to go. Now I'm at the last spot I'm wanting to try today, and it is my last chance at catching some stream chub. And it is very highly likely that it's going to happen, because it's the area where I was catching them on the little baits just a few videos ago. And what I'm going to do is, I really want that top water strike. I mentioned it at the start of the video. So what I'm doing is, I've actually got a creature bait here. This isn't a top water creature bait, it's just a normal bog standard floating creature bait that you would rig on a chub head. And what I like to do is keep these weedless rigged and actually throw these onto the surface of the water, and this would imitate something like a small dying frog, or maybe even a big bug on the surface, and chub normally can't resist. I'm just hoping it's not too cold for them, and we might be able to get that top water strike we've been after. Let's tie it on and get cast out. Yep, fish on. Yep, there we go. Absolutely destroyed it. Yes. Yes, it's a chub that we're after. From the little stream. On the surface, weedless rigged, creature bait. Absolutely nailed it. Got him. On the ultralight, that's what we're doing, exploring the little woodland streams. Well, they're saying that this is a swim that I'm obviously well accustomed to. I've fished here lots of times before. Look at that, absolutely nailed it. Just gonna see if I can do that again while he's sat down there. Yep, another one. Yep, we got another one. Straight after we just caught one. I have to walk these fish straight downstream so that they get away from the shoal. Obviously there's a few down there. Absolutely beautiful little stream this. Come on. That's 2 in 2 casts. In this spot. That's a good size one as well actually. Can we do it 3? There we go. And that is just caught in the net, so I'll just be careful now. And actually, I know I'm going to get some hate for it, because I always get hate whenever I leave a fish in the net. But I'm going to leave both these fish in the net just here for a minute while I see if I can get one more. That was 2 in 2 casts, so it's only been a couple of minutes. Let's try this one more time. Maybe even a really tiny, small, soft plastic. Ooh, yes, oh my God. There was another one. Oh God, he blew it up. That was the last cast I was having on this bait as well before changing over. Oh, so frustrating. How aggressive was that? Man, I love small stream fishing. Look at that. The quality of the fish you can catch from these sort of waters is incredible. I've caught pike out of here that are probably pushing, you know, £9, £10. I've caught chub out here like these that are pushing probably £3.5 to £4, some of them. And big perch as well. You just never know really what's lying in these areas. And especially when you're using an ultralight settle like what I'm using today, that 1 to 8 gram rod. It is so much fun getting these fish on it. And on the top water, nothing gets much better than that, does it? Well guys, that is definitely the end of the video. It's actually been really hard work this session. The first hour and a half to 2 hours was a real grind. Came to an area where I knew there was going to be fish. Caught probably more perch here than I ever have done. I didn't even think there was that many perch in this stream, but that's the great thing about these waterways. You just never really know what you're going to find till you turn up. And then ending the session on those 2 fantastic chub. Definitely put Carl's rod up to the test and caught some fantastic fish on it. If you want to check out the generator that I was using today, I'll leave that down in the description below, because that thing has been great and has enabled me to get out here today and explore some new stretches of this stream, because my battery was running low when I got here this morning. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you guys later.